Hello, my dear ones, my dear friends, and just people who might watch my channel, who might watch me talk and understand or like any words that I say and that I make sense. Basically, we are talking about our inner psychology, our human psyche, our inner self. Right, and yes, there are a lot of different seminars and different videos online on how to help yourself, different kind of affirmations, different hypnosis lessons, and professional psychologists. But still, I listen to all of it. I kind of filter it through, but I still have my own understanding of everything because, after all, I just absorb this kind of information and apply only certain amount of that to yourself. But what I was talking about, basically clearing out everything. It's like it's bundled up for years and years, right? And we're clearing out, like I say, you clear out the old closet, and it's new season. You have to buy new clothes, become everything. You change your habits, make yourself better because we're growing, and just if something happens sometimes in life, we get down and out, we get less aware, less on the cue, less on the go. Like I get like that. I kind of start drowning little by little, and then you have to pick yourself back up basically. And as it's springtime now, so we start out working through our inner selves, because I believe there is more than one, because we have so many inner resources that we don't know about. I have a question. I think I have an idea why scientists say that we don't use but only 15% of our brain. It's like we have a brain. We live, if we're lucky, to 100 years old, right? Not everybody, of course, but if you are in some way lucky genetically, or your whole life you just opened the key, you have the answer to life on how to live long and stay vital and healthy. And certain people do have that answer, and certain people are genetically inclined, and we all want to know all these answers. And throughout life, it's like, how do I go through life using 15%? Sometimes I think that my mind works 100%. My memory works 100%. I'm trying to remember information. My intuition works 100%. My logic works 100% and more. Sometimes my brain gets tired of thinking, of analyzing, of working through situations. And it's like, what? Do I do that with only 100%? Okay, maybe it's evolutionary. We're not so evolved that we're only using so much. Or maybe is it what in the future we're going to be more conscious and more aware? We're going to like hear in the long distance and speak without words? What's going to happen with our brains in the future that we're not so evolved? What I think scientists mean by using only 15% is that most of our brain is also a subconscious. It goes into subconsciousness. Like our conscious is our short-term memory, kind of. Long-term memory is in the subconscious, obviously, partially in the subconscious, partially in the conscious. And it's like the storage, short-term memory storage and long-term memory storage, like in the computer. You have it's located in both, in the conscious and in the subconscious, and of course they're deeply interconnected. So in the subconscious, basically, psychologists say that we have our inner being, right, that is like within us, and then we have our conscious being that is also within us. That is our awake state of mind. That is our self. That's what we operate as every day in our wakeful state. But also we have this other being in us that is, that's what I believe they say inner entity or inner feeling or inner being is. I see it as our subconscious self. That's what they're trying to detect. How much of our mind is in that. because sometimes why we have bad dreams, or we have, negative thoughts, or sometimes you just, maybe in the distance you feel, bad things happening, or negative things being said, or something, something occurring that you have no conscious ability to know. In our subconscious is intuitively aware of all these things. So sometimes we're not aware of everything that's around us. It's humanly impossible. You cannot know and hear everything that's going on, but your mind can operate in the sense that you might figure out a lot and analyze and think through and take action to resolve things, problems, situations, events, and so on. So we need to connect to the universe, to our energy field that all humans are connected with. And a lot of us is still in the subconscious, is in the memory. So I kind of am working through how do you work through your conscious self and your subconscious self and your inner child. I have already gone beyond, to connect with your inner innocence, your inner child, your inner happiness, inner bliss, and inner state of being so pure and so wonderful and so beautiful and innocent. Right. Next, you have other chakras, like I was talking about, the lower gunyas, the hara, the chakras of your self-esteem, then your inner love and the compassion, the all compassionate and the greater love. Then you have your psychic abilities, and then you have the crown chakra, the connection with the divine, the connection with God. That's what gives us the nirvana. That's what makes us go into samsara and then go into nirvana and go back and forth, and then you go and have glimpses of God and have your bliss, and that you have more access to your own godlike nature. And that's what humans are supposed to be feeling like, from what I understand from the teachings. And I do agree, as I do like to feel quite high and happy all the time, and the more person is that, the better. And me being a mother also would help a lot, so I can keep my children happy at all times, always play with them. And why should I work? I just play with my kids all day, be like them. But nonetheless, we're adults, we can't act like that, and we have to be, working on ourselves. And so I decided to kind of try to understand that subject. So basically, when what psychologists say, when you conscious, like what you're telling yourself, your affirmations, your daily things, you make yourself believe certain things that you weren't believed to be worthy. You weren't believed to be, your man could have criticized you to the T, that you just worst woman ever. And for example, you've been in a bad relationship, or there's some kind of problems at work, and you just never been, you've been neglected and never been looked at as serious worker, or just your boss have never given you enough credit and everything. That causes low self-esteem. It's as simple as that. If you take all kinds of criticism, any form of verbal abuse, mental abuse, any kind of offense, in a while it kind of rubs off on you, as it dampens your self-esteem. And that is like a woman with a low self-esteem, or a man, is like a different level of experience, totally different, throughout all the fears, all insecurities, everything. But then again, it's not enough to just put it in your subconscious and just keep on repeating it. You have to deeply believe it into your subconscious. So your subconscious self must agree with it. Your subconscious self must go along with it. Your subconscious self must be knowing it just as much as your consciousness. That's what your logic, your wakeful state, what it's telling you. I am this, I'm such, I'm such, I'm such. And screw everything else. But if your subconscious self doesn't agree with it, if you haven't worked through it, you haven't gone through each layer, like each shelf in the closet, you just have not worked through it. It's like different sequence, this and this and this and this, and you work through the sequence of events. They have dampened, they have put you on your knees, they have broken your heart, made you cry, broke you down. If you don't work through it in your subconscious, you will not get down to the problem just by telling yourself certain something. Like I have been meditating and telling myself certain things for a month. Nothing changed with me. I'm still the same. Not much changed. And it's just like, I don't have time for this, I don't have time for that, I'm always busy. Well, your subconscious mind doesn't agree with what you're trying to do. It's just like still hanging on you like a heavy burden. So how do you hack your subconscious mind? That's what I'm going to go into after a few days. I will continue my conversation. This is Annabella D'Angelo. Thank you so much. And this is our psychology. We're going doing trading, doing teaching English, entrepreneuring, doing freelance work, and doing psychology. Now this is some entrepreneuring. This is some traveling around the world, I tell you.